What is a top tier husband? Okay. What is a top tier man? Okay. Now, this is coming from, and I say man from the perspective of a woman, right? What is top tier? Okay. Top of the food chain, what you should be looking at as top shelf. Okay. Now, I'm concerned. Okay. I'm concerned that what women view as top tier, in other words, what they believe in their mind a top tier husband is, I am very much so concerned that that image, that person that they have in their mind is not top tier. So I'll give you a perfect example. A professional athlete, a professional entertainer, a wealthy man, okay, someone with some money, a rich man, okay, a man whose annual salary is somewhere near the millions, whatever, right? He's a millionaire, okay? A lot of women, and this is one thing I've noticed, if you are, a lot of women will categorize a man, particularly a black man, who checks that box, who is good looking and maybe famous and got millions, as automatically top tier, automatically top shelf, automatically what you're supposed to be going for. And isn't this true? We as black men, we realize this, that the quote unquote gods, okay, that we put on the pedestal, the people that we worship in the black community, a lot of times these are athletes and entertainers, okay? Now, you worship them because they're celebrity status and because of their wealth. And I'm not saying that having money is not one of the components to what a top tier man should be. But what I'm saying is when we prioritize the bag, the money, the wealth, the fame, to the point where you don't even concern yourself with this man's character. Okay. You're willing to overlook certain things because of the money, because of what he can do for you, financially speaking, to where now you believe he's top tier. And this is how crazy life is. Not crazy, but this is how powerful the mind is. You've actually created that in your own mind. You've actually created the idea that this man is top tier in your own mind. Based on what? Based on what? Who is the authority that told you that a man having fame and money makes him top tier? Where did you get that concept from? Now, I don't even want to get into all of that, but on a low level, you can say it's the world. It's the standards of the world, right? Because this world is based on jealousy, right? Envy, right? You see somebody else who got something materialistically now, and you think you're supposed to strive for that. You think that's supposed to be your goal, right? Or this person must be more happy than me or more successful than me because they got more money than me. Or this man must be a better man because he got more money. This is how women be thinking. And I'm telling y'all that although that can be true, a lot of times it's not. And I'm going to tell you guys what really makes a top tier husband, according to me, according to my book, based on what I've seen in my real life for men who've been married 60 years. I'm talking about my grandparents' friends, black couples who've been married for decades. All right, now let's talk about this. What makes a man a top tier husband? A top tier husband is is a man who I would call mature. Okay, in the most fewest words possible, he is mature and he is grounded and centered in reality and the truth. Now, what is the truth? Y'all want the real? Y'all want the real? I'm going to tell you the real if you want the real. Listen, the men I'm talking about in the black community that I've seen married for 60 years, I'm talking about these are top tier men. Why do I call them top tier? Because the result tells you what they are. The result of what they're doing tells you what they are. And when I look at these men have a commonality. They have a common thread every time. Every time. Listen, these are God-fearing men. Their wealth and their money and their financial status have very little. Okay, I'm going to say that one more time. Their money, their wealth, their financial status have very little to do with them being a top tier husband, a successful husband, a man who raised a successful family. Very little to do. And I say that because I know some men who've been married for 60 years, who lost their houses, who went through ups and downs financially. Now, I'm not saying that listen, let me be frank and tell y'all, not one of the men I'm talking about have been lazy. Not one. Not one of them was jobless or didn't have ambition. But when you say your ambition got to lead to a 6-figure job, and if you're not a 7-figure, NIGGA, then you not top tier. If you're not making 200, you're not making 150,000, you ain't making 200,000, you ain't got a bin, you can't buy my nails and pay for this and pay, you're not top tier. When you start thinking like that, you played yourself. Because these men I'm talking about, listen, they all are what I would call financially successful, but they're not all 6-figure earning men. They're not. Just period. They're just not. But they're successful. They work. Some of them got businesses. But when you say the level of success, the line of success is their family, their wife, their kids, their legacy. Family, the money don't have nothing. They have very little to do with it. These are men who are guided by deeper principles in life. They're guided by a deeper source of truth that too few of our people even want to talk about. Our people don't even want to talk about what the truth is. Don't even want to talk about no type of spiritual guidance, no type of moral law. This is what make a top tier husband. You want to get on it. You want to get on social media and complain about these men that you're calling top tier for, as certain men have said, exercising options. OK, basically making excuses for a man going outside of his marriage to cheat on his wife. OK, and we want to talk about it and make it seem like, oh, on one hand, well, if a man is making a certain amount of money, then he should have the right to do that. Who are the men that are saying that? These are not the God-fearing men who are teaching and practicing the law. No. Those are not those men. OK, the men who are walking in the truth according to some type of moral foundation, some type of spiritual foundation. I'm not saying they're going to be perfect, but what I'm saying is 8, 9 out of 10 times, that is your top tier husband. It don't have nothing to do with his money. It don't have nothing to do with him being famous on social media or an NBA player, basketball player, or rapper. No. Entertainers have some of the highest rates of divorce of anybody in the world. But you want to call him a top tier husband just because he got the money? See, this is going to show you how lost our people be. I'm not saying all of us. I'm saying some of our people. They be lost. They don't know what they're talking about. But they'll get on social media with this voice and with this attitude like they just right. Like they just know what they're talking about. You don't know what you're talking about. And really, they speaking from their own perspective about what they want, what they consider it to be. Now, somebody could say I'm doing the same thing. I'm speaking about top tier husbands, what I consider it to be based on my own life experience and based on what I've seen. But I'm talking about the result. When I judge something, when I say this is good and that is bad, you can only judge it based on the result. The majority, if you look at the divorce rate amongst entertainers who are very well paid, their divorce rate is very high, family. Hollywood stars and Hollywood people and all these people, they go through divorces. OK, like it happens. But when you look, I'm talking about when you look at the majority of men that you know in your life right now, black men who got black wives who've been married more than a decade, you're going to be hard pressed to find one of these men who don't have some type of spiritual foundation, who don't have a very strong moral fabric in them, who don't believe in principle. And it makes sense that these types of men would be the one who wants to get married. He's ready to make a commitment before God to take care of this woman and my family and the family that comes through her. That's a commitment. That is a principle-based relationship. It's deeper than love. It's deeper than how I feel about you in this moment. This is based on what I took an oath to do before my creator, to take care of you. So whether we're going through ups or downs in life, look, I'm going to give my best and we're going to give the Lord the will and let him steer this ship. You know what I'm saying? We're going to put our faith in something deeper than just what's on the surface, deeper than just this materialism. Because when materialism becomes your foundation off the rip is incredibly unstable. This become a relationship based on what you're going to do for me. And when you stop doing for me, I'm going to be upset with you and use that as justification to have all sorts of attitude against you because you're no longer serving me. But when you understand what real provision is, people get the concept of a provider misconstrued. Do you understand that a man who have principle, a man who believes in law and structure A part of the provision that he is providing for a household, which includes his wife, are boundaries, are rules, is structure for that family. We don't even like to think about provision in that light. To understand that the spiritual authority that is God ordained from the Most High, from our Creator to that man, is a part of the provision that is going to that family, including that woman. But we don't even want to talk about that. This is what's wrong with some of our people in terms of social media. We just ignoring the elephant in the room. It's like the orange tree is right here. This is the orange tree. It's right here. And you want to pick the fruit up off the ground and keep talking about the fruit. And you don't have no type of understanding of the tree. The tree is what's providing the fruit. So what is supporting the tree? What's supporting the roots that the fruit is falling from? But you just want to pick up the fruit and come up with your own interpretation about how this fruit got here and why this fruit is so juicy and tastes so good without examining the tree. You got to get to the root of the problem. We need to get to the root of these matters because that is the only light in these situations. You cannot take something like you can't worship money and think that you're going to get the result that you want out of life. It doesn't work like that. Money can be a result of good decisions, but the money in itself is not the goal. The goal, the purpose of the money is what it is. So it's like, okay, this money is for this, that money is for that, right? But the money is never just the sole objective. And I feel as though we do way too much of that when it comes to particularly black men. Now, I got my own understanding about why that is. Because we as a people been through some things. So we put materialism on a pedestal that it don't even belong in. Some of y'all can't even be happy just being you. You got to change yourself and manipulate yourself and go put this on and that on and go buy these shoes, that clothes, that hair, this weave, that makeup for you to look in the mirror and feel any kind of good about yourself. Why is that? Why don't other races of people have to do so much that we do for them to feel and be happy and quote unquote successful? Why is that? See, because some of y'all got self-esteem issues that you haven't worked through. So at the end of the day, it's like this. People got to return to the truth. And this because it's not going nowhere. The truth, you can believe what you want. But at the end of the day, the truth going to still be there. So the sooner you accept the truth, the better off you'll be. That's when the real work starts. The real work don't start till you accept the truth. So I hope I've done a decent job of explaining to y'all what a top tier husband is in my book. It have nothing to do, very little to nothing to do with money and wealth and fame. It's about who you are as a man, what you believe in, what you stand for, who you are. This ain't got nothing to do with your money, what you can provide, your car, your clothes, your bank account. No, it's way deeper than that. And for the men that I've seen successfully lead a family for decades, that's what this is. That's what it is. So God bless y'all. Have a beautiful day.